What's up, guys? This is Allie here from the Ninja Network. I'm here with Cara today. We're going to be talking about the Grit Ninja Games. She is here on site with this awesome competition series that they've put together. So, want to ask her a couple questions about that. Cara, why don't you just show us what's going on? Look at this place. So, we got 4 side-by-side identical ninja courses. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we are still in the midst of getting our course set up, but you can see behind me, we are rigging, working with DGS and the World Ninja League and the Grit Ninja to put together the course. So it is 4 identical lanes, about 200 feet long, and the whole bay is about 30 feet wide. So we got some really beefy lanes going on here. I'm gonna walk around so that we can see everything a little bit more up close.
Yeah, I love that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Why don't you just start off with who you are? What is the mission behind the Grit Ninja Games, and how did this whole thing even come about?
Yeah, totally. If you saw behind me when we first jumped on, our banner said that we are the future of ninja racing. So basically, we really want to elevate the sport to come to this place of high intensity competition. We really want to keep the competitors and the viewers, like the audience, in mind with creating a competition that is high level racing, but also like high energy. So there's 4 athletes to watch at the same time. Everyone is sprinting through these courses. So really speed course focused with it's tournament style as well. So for our competition tomorrow, every athlete will get a minimum of 2 runs. So the first round, athletes come in, they've already picked their heat in their lane, which is cool too. So athletes have chosen like where they want to be in the competition. They'll do their first run, then be seeded into the next round based on their time. And then after that, we'll work through the bracket based on time. So really our goal is to create like a high level racing type tournament that elevates ninja to this even more like high intensity type sport that's really exciting to watch.
Personally, I love Ninja versus Ninja from a spectator perspective because it's just so exciting and has so much energy. But I think you guys are really elevating this to a whole new level with an additional 2 athletes, which I think is super cool. And not only that, from like an actual course design it is super time consuming when you have a ton of athletes. So was this part of the design was to be able to run multiple people to get more people through competitions, or was it more of a
It was definitely both. We wanted to be able to run a high number of athletes. So running 4 athletes at a time in courses that for the most elite level, we expect them all to be run under a minute. So just imagine like after just a half hour, like how many athletes can get through. I think in our biggest bracket, we have, I want to say 45 athletes running brackets or heats of 4 athletes in the same bracket. We're able to get through dozens of athletes in a much shorter amount of time, and they're getting multiple runs.
I think that's a huge value for the athlete, especially when they pay for a
These
competition.
2 runs, many of them have gotten 3 or 4 runs. And then from a spectator perspective, we wanted something that felt exciting. And Ninja, I think, is exciting, but more so for the ninjas, the athletes who know what they're looking at, who understand the technical side of it, the difficulty of it. But for the general public spectator, we really wanted something that was automatically something that felt exciting that you could just get into without really completely understanding what was going on or like the athleticism behind it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
On that note, do you feel like the course design was maybe a little bit more simplistic obstacles just for the speed and the simplicity of people being able to understand what the course is all about?
Yeah, you're correct. We really aimed for a speed course that had very straightforward obstacles. So there's some cane tech for the elites. There's cliffhanger moves. Obviously, to be able to link and go quickly, you have to have more technique in that sense. But the obstacles themselves are very straightforward. Everything is also in a straight line. So that also can change things. You're not trying to turn or do any sort of like moves to a different direction. Everything is going straight. So it is simplistic in that sense. And in order to also make the competition work so that we could have 4 divisions in one day, we do have, everyone is running the same foundational course, if you want to put it that way. There are modifications from division to division, and we do have different changes in height and things like that. But I would say the bones of the obstacles themselves are remaining the same in order to just be able to get everyone through.
Sure. Yeah. And these courses are really resource intensive. I mean, you guys are setting up in a park, right? And
Yes.
so there's lots, I'm sure so many moving details to get this even put together, but the courses look
Yeah.
awesome. So I'm
Thank you.
curious from a long-term goal. I know that you guys have this event tomorrow and it's going to be big with the idea of this being the future of spectator ninja race. Do you guys have
Mhm.
more competitions planned? Do you expect to go other areas or do you think that this will just stay there locally for you guys?
Yeah, well, without overstepping my bounds of what I'm allowed to share, I do know that we do have big dreams and big goals of doing this again, doing more of this. But I would say at a conservative level, we want this to at least be an annual event for our area here in the New York Metro. I know we do actually have athletes who are traveling across the country to get here, which is pretty exciting. But at the minimum, we definitely want this to be an annual event that could be like so hyped, a huge racing event that is kind of difficult to put on unless you have a big space like this. And so we are super thankful for the Westchester County Parks because they approached us and wanted to work with us to put on this event. And so this wouldn't be possible without the Westchester County Parks system. So thank you so much.
Something that I saw a lot on
Mhm.
social as you guys are kind of putting this event out was equality for both women and men athletes and the prize
Yeah,
money. So I'd love to hear you speak a little bit about that and what is the prize money? What does that look like?
definitely. Yeah, it was something offering equal prize money for males and females in the elite division was something that we did have to discuss a little bit because our female bracket is smaller than the male bracket. And I think traditionally or in other situations, it has just kind of been prize money based off of registrations. And that was something that we considered, but then we realized we want to move the sport forward in a way that is has more equity for all and in the sense of having males and females have equal prize money regardless of the signups. It almost felt like if we're giving less payout to the females, is that trying to say that just because there's less of you, you're worth less, or you didn't work as hard to deserve as big of a prize money because there's less competition, because there's fewer of you? But we felt like that wasn't the message we want to put out there. As a female athlete myself, I've competed many years, and to think about offering $4,000 to either of the first place winners, male or female, is so exciting. And $4,000 is higher than some of the other big competitions out there. So we feel really excited and just blessed by sponsors and all that to be able to offer 4,000 for the top prize for both male and female elite.
You guys have talked a lot about the elite division. Will you share just a little bit with me about how does this apply to the youth? And are you guys running heats for them? And is it different for them? What does that look like?
Yeah. So at the Grit Ninja, because we are our parent company, if you want to say, is the Grit Ninja, the 4 location gym that's here in Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. At the Grit Ninja, one of our biggest goals is always to raise up the next generation of ninjas, like from the ground up, from the youngest up. And our classes start at like age 4 or something, very little. And so we've always, I think, for the 5 years that the Grit Ninja has existed, had this perspective of we want to support the highest level athletes, but we also really want to raise up from like the very, very beginners and see them grow all the way into like world champions. And so at this event, we definitely have not short-sighted the younger ninjas. Our Division 4 tournament starts at age 9, but we also, I'll explain a little bit more of the tournament in a second, but also right here behind me is all our recreational obstacles. And so the Great Ninja has a mobile program that goes out to different parks in the Westchester, Bergen, Fairfield County areas and puts on like big ninja events and classes in parks. And so we have a really expansive setup. I don't know if you can see the warp walls all the way behind me, but we have a really big setup here for any ninja that wants to show up. So even if you've never done ninja, you're 4 years old, you're 6 years old, come on over to the recreational area and we can teach you and you can learn and have your first ninja experience right here. And then kind of like just in the distance is the massive rig for all of our elite competitors. So it's really cool that we're really doing our best to reach out to the beginner ninjas and the advanced ninjas. And like I mentioned earlier, on the main rig for the tournament, the youth division will be ages 9 and 10. Then our preteen is ages 11 and 12. Then we have an amateur division that starts at age 13 and up. and then elites, which is 15 and up. So we're really trying to hit as many bases as we can as far as high level competitors, because just because you're a 10-year-old doesn't mean that you're not going to absolutely demolish the course. So we're really, for the tournament, looking for like the highest level of those age groups. And I think we've definitely accomplished that. And I know on Instagram we had shared last week, Coach Henry had put out a video explaining some of the preteen bracket for the males. He coaches some of those kids, other kids he's seen locally at competitions, and he was recognizing and looking through the WNL listings that over 50% of the athletes who have signed up for that tournament are in the top 30 power ranking for the WNL this season. So it's just an example of how like stacked the field is for the tournaments and how exciting it is. And we're all like really jazzed for the brackets for sure.
Yes, and I love that you guys took an extra effort to bring out the mobile equipment to give these spectators and the community that you guys are building there just an opportunity to try Ninja themselves, right? It's not just a
Okay.
competition, it's an interactive experience that they themselves can get on obstacles and touch and feel it. And I'm sure that's excellent brand building for your guys' local gym as well. I wanted to ask you about, you guys put out a video last night on Instagram about it's like fantasy picking thing. You guys put up a grand prize of
Yeah.
$10,000. Can you tell me
Yep.
a little bit about that and what was kind of the thinking behind it for, I
Yeah.
think it's a very interesting idea. I'm just curious to hear your take.
Certainly. Yeah. We're calling it the bracket challenge, the Grit Ninja Games bracket challenge. Challenge was to bring in another avenue for spectators to be excited about watching and just help people get more invested in the athletes that they're watching. So we felt like it could be a creative way to really encourage people to, hey, look at the bracket list and then go look up that ninja on Instagram, or like maybe they go to your gym, like consider that ninja's skills and like just be excited to think more about who are the actual athletes on the course, not just like your kid or your friend, but let's look at the whole population we have here and really think about like how is the sport progressing? How do we see this playing out? So we really just were looking for a creative way to get people more invested and excited. But we also just have some amazing sponsors who are involved and thought like, why not put out another big prize opportunity? And hopefully it will just allow athletes as well to feel a little bit more pressure in a good way. People are watching, people care. It's not just, yes, we want to be excited about just doing this for fun, but we also really want to see this sport progress into a place that has more viewership, more people invested and wanting to see how the sport is progressing, wanting to place value into it. So we were just hoping that it could be a creative way to get more people excited and invested.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a very cool idea. I'd love to see how it
Yeah.
plays out. I want to see if somebody actually gets all their picks right. I feel like that's,
Yeah.
correct me. It's, you have to get first, second, third, and fourth for all four, or for all divisions correct for them to win the $10,000.
Yeah. And the reason we did first through fourth is because when you look at the brackets, it's 4 lanes. So there will be the top 4 athletes who are remaining. So that's why we did first through fourth. So it's really like in that last heat of the championship heat, could you place all 4 of those athletes? And yeah, the $10,000 prize is for all of the 8 different slots. But then you can also win a $100 gift card if you get just the divisions of your specific age group correct. So trying to give a couple more opportunities because it is challenging to guess all of those correctly.
Yes, totally. And, I
Yeah.
just love that you're bringing in more investment from those spectators and more options for them to be involved in this ninja competition.
Yeah.
Cara, thank
Yeah.
you so much for sharing your vision, your mission for this competition. It sounds so amazing. Is there anything else that you'd want to share to the ninja parents, the communities, about what the Grit Ninja Games and this competition is all about and how it fits into the sport of ninja?
Yeah. I think in Ninja we have a lot of types of competitions where you go to your local gym, or you set up in your space. We don't have as many where we're literally taking over a public space to create something new and to really invite the community into what we're doing. And that's what on our website we have a lot of wording about like the games and the gathering. And so really that gathering side is hello world, come on out to our event, learn about ninja. And if you see this and you're inspired, then come on over here to the recreational obstacles and give it a try yourself. So we're really trying to make this an event that everyone can feel welcome to come to, no matter if you literally have no idea what you're stepping into, or if you're like, I've seen that on TV, or I go to a ninja gym, like I want to be there. So we really want to be able to replicate this in the future and continue to create those spaces where people want to come, they want to learn. And we hope to see this as a way to grow the sport of ninja from kind of like a different avenue. Please follow us at the Grit Ninja Games on social media. And I would love to, for any parents or anybody who's watching who actually is here or has heard a lot about it, we would love feedback. We would love to see what was the perspective of, we've been in this insular bubble for months and months as we've been planning, and we're so hyped about it. But we would love to have feedback and hear people's perspectives of how the event went, or just what we look like out here on social media, if that's how you're watching. So give us a follow and definitely stay tuned. I'll be posting as much as humanly possible between now and the end of the event tomorrow. And then afterwards, love to share all of the amazing photos and video that we capture.